New Orleans, 1918, a city of rhythm, mystery, and shadows.
Jazz echoed through its streets, the heartbeat of a place that never truly slept. But beneath the music, a much darker rhythm began to play, the sound of an axe splitting the night.
Before we dive into the haunting story of the Axeman's jazz victims, who were they?
Make sure to subscribe to Crimes Through Time. And if you love uncovering history's darkest unsolved crimes,
give this video a like, it helps others discover these forgotten tales. Now, let's step into the world of fear, music, and blood that once gripped New Orleans.
In the early 1900s, New Orleans was unlike any other American city. The streets were alive with jazz clubs, Italian groceries, French bakeries,
and immigrant families carving out their slice of the American dream. But it was also a city of poverty and tension, a melting pot simmering with corruption,
racial strife, and organized crime. And then, on May 23, 1918,
as the sweltering Louisiana heat settled over the city, a new terror arrived. At around 4:45 a.m., a man named Andrew Maggios discovered his brother Joseph and sister-in-law
Catherine lying in their bed, their throats slit,
their skulls crushed with an axe.
Blood soaked the sheets. The walls were painted with horror. A small chisel and the bloody axe were found near the bed. The back door had been carefully chiseled open.
Yet strangely, nothing was stolen.
The Maggios were Italian grocers, hard-working, well-liked.
Their home, attached to their store, was ordinary, but that morning, it became the stage for one of the most brutal murders in New Orleans history.
Police found no fingerprints, no witnesses, and no clear motive, and that was just the beginning. Just weeks later, on June 27, 1918, the Axeman struck again. Louis Bissouma and his mistress, Anna Lowe, were attacked while sleeping in their quarters behind a grocery store.
Bissouma survived barely, Anna did not. Once again, the killer used an axe belonging to the victims,
and the door had been chiseled open in the same way.
Fear began to seep into every corner of New Orleans. Residents whispered of a phantom someone who appeared, killed with precision, and vanished into the night. People began sleeping with weapons, locking doors, and boarding windows.
Others, in panic, moved out of the city altogether. By August, the Axeman struck again, this time at the home of Mrs. Schneider,
a pregnant woman.
She survived with head injuries but remembered nothing of the attack.
Her husband returned home to find her blooded and dazed, the room a scene of chaos.
And again, a door had been chiseled open.
By this point, the city was divided between two theories.
1. The killer was a madman. 2. He was a man with a message striking only Italian grocers and their families.
The pattern was impossible to ignore.
The victims were nearly all Italian immigrants or their relatives, most working in grocery stores. The press began calling him the Axeman of New Orleans.
In August 1918, the Axeman returned to the home of Joseph Romano, a retired grocer living with his nieces.
The women awoke to the sound of struggle and saw a shadowy figure fleeing into the night.
Romano, gravely injured, staggered to his doorway before collapsing and dying.
Neighbors described the suspect as large, darkly dressed,
and wearing a hat, but the night kept his face hidden. Police confirmed the door had once again been chiseled open, the weapon the household axe,
and nothing was stolen.
Now, New Orleans was in full panic. On March 13, 1919,
the Times-Picayune received a letter addressed to the editor, signed by the Axeman. It read, "They have never caught me, and they never will.
They cannot stop me, for I am invisible, even as the ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell."
The letter continued with a bizarre promise.
At 12:15 earthly time,
"On next Tuesday night, I am going to pass over New Orleans. I will spare everyone in whose home a jazz band is playing."
The city went mad.
On the night of March 19, 1919, every jazz club was packed. Homes blared music from phonographs. The streets danced in chaos and fear. And true to his word, no one was killed that night.
It became one of the strangest nights in American crime history.
A serial killer inspiring a citywide jazz festival to avoid death.
Behind this sensationalism were real people, hardworking families whose stories faded behind them.
Myth of the demon Axeman. Let's remember them. The Maggios, the first victims, were pillars of their neighborhood. Joseph, a quiet, devoted man. Catherine, a beloved wife who helped run the family store. They were killed just days before they planned to move out of the city. Louis Bissouma and Anna Lowe were a complicated pair.
Anna's death brought scandal, as her relationship with Bissouma was extramarital.
He was later accused but acquitted, the true killer still unknown. The Cortimiglias, grocers in Gretna, were attacked in March 1919. The parents survived. Their 2-year-old daughter Mary was killed. The horror broke the family apart. Charles accused his wife Rosie, who later retracted her statement, claiming the police had coerced her. Steve Boker, attacked in August 1919, survived but could not remember his attacker. Sarah Laumann, another victim, lived alone and was beaten nearly to death. Each name tells a story of survival, silence, and shattered lives, victims not of the devil, but of a very human monster. Theories flourished. Some believed he was a deranged butcher or a local laborer who targeted Italians out of resentment. Others thought he was connected to the Mafia, enforcing debts or warnings. A popular suspect was Joseph Mumford, a small-time criminal later shot
dead in Los Angeles in 1920
by the widow of one of the
Axeman's supposed victims.
Some newspapers claimed she had avenged her husband's death, but police never confirmed any solid link between Mumford and the killings.
Others suggested the Axeman was never one man at all, but a series of copycats inspired by the panic and the press.
Whatever the truth, the killings stopped as abruptly as they began. After October 1919, the axe fell silent. The legend of the Axeman endured,
not only because of his brutality, but because of his strange connection to jazz. New Orleans musicians even wrote a song titled The Mysterious Axeman's Jazz Don't Scare Me.
Papa, released in 1919, it was both a joke and a form of defiance, turning fear into rhythm.
For decades, writers, filmmakers, and historians have returned to this story, drawn by its bizarre mix of terror, culture, and unsolved mystery. But lost in the myth are the ordinary lives shattered by one man's madness. Behind the headlines, the fear, and the folklore were the victims, the grocers who woke to the sound of splintering wood,
the wives who never saw their husbands again, and the children who grew up sleeping in terror.
They were immigrants chasing hope, struck down in a city built on dreams.
And though the Axeman vanished,
his shadow still lingers in the music,
in the fog of the French Quarter,
and in the haunting sound of distant jazz that seems,
for a moment, to echo the beat of an unseen axe. The story of the Axeman of New Orleans is often told as a legend,
but it's truly a tragedy, not of a supernatural demon, but of a city divided, fearful, and unable to find justice for its own people. If you found this story fascinating,
subscribe to Crimes Through Time, where we uncover the truth behind history's darkest unsolved mysteries. And if you believe the Axeman was ever truly caught, tell us what theory you stand by in the comments below.
Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep listening.
Because in New Orleans, the night still plays jazz.